I remember when the call came, Doug, we knew there were issues with Caleb. And his pediatrician called us one night and said, it's time we go to a developmental specialist. You know, as a Christian, I'm supposed to have it all together. But my world turned upside down. I exchanged toy trucks for diapers. I exchanged the ball game for therapies. And Doug, it went from what will my child be someday to who's going to care for my son.
For me, it was an extraordinary moment in time in that I was in the delivery room when Ryan was born with no idea that we were having a special needs child. The doctor had never seen anything like him before and just took him and turned away from me and said, I'm sorry. I don't see how this child can live more than a few hours. That was 38 years ago, and Ryan is still with us. It's been a journey from desperation and near collapse to eventually a joy and celebration for his life.
It was difficult as a father to accept Caleb and his brokenness, so to speak. In fact, it took a couple of years for me to come to a place where I would really open up to God, much less to others, about Caleb's brokenness. Now, I remember this one evening, Doug, Caleb would not sleep very well. He was about 2 years old. He was crying in the middle of the night. I went in to comfort him, and I got him back to sleep. And then I laid there in the silence of his room, and I looked up to the ceiling, really to the sky. I was looking through the ceiling up into the heavens, and I was saying, God, why won't you fix my son? Why won't you fix Caleb? And the tears began to roll down my cheeks as I heard these words come from heaven through the ceiling right into my heart, where God said, Stephen, aren't you glad that I didn't require you to be fixed before I accepted you? And it was in that moment I began to recognize my brokenness, right? The unconditional love of God for me and who I was with all of my frail, broken world. And it was a changing point for me where I began to see that God loved me regardless of my insufficiencies. And it was a turning point in my relationship with Caleb to begin to love him for who God had created him to be as well.
Gaining power by surrendering control is a tough concept for a lot of us. It was for me. I was someone who really embraced control. And the world was telling me it worked. I had a corporate career that was skyrocketing. And I found the more I could control, the higher I went on the corporate scale. And then I run into Ryan Mazza, and that didn't work anymore. Unfortunately, I also ran into Jesus Christ, who said, let me be in control, and then let's see where we can take this. Because if you're the one in control, then your situation is never going to be better than you. Is that really enough? But when you surrender control to Jesus Christ, and you say, you're in control and I'm the servant, sky's the limit.
You know, Doug, this book is not for the faint of heart. We hit real life issues. We're raw, we're real. When our children are born with disabilities and special needs, that's not fixable, so to speak. It's a little bit of a sense of a failure that we can carry as fathers. And often, what I found is that my wife isn't looking for me to fix it. She's looking for me to let her know not that everything's going to be all right, but that I'm with her when it's not all right.
Well, I'm glad what we've done is include the story of dozens of other men. So there's a great cross-section. This isn't just your experience and my experience, but we can read the stories of these dozens of other men and find what the commonalities are. And where those circles overlap, there is a richness that I hope will be a help to other men as well.
Yeah, we've written this book not from a position of experts. We've written it from a place of humility, really as men who have probably made more mistakes than the right choices, but we've learned some things along the way.
True.
And we want to pass those on to other fathers, whether they are new fathers or they've been fathers for many years in the making. This book, Another Kind of Courage, has something to say to them that's going to strengthen them and encourage them to be husbands and fathers that deep in their hearts they want to be.
With the totality of all that we have gone through, this is not a woe is me book. This is a book of hope.
Yeah.
This is a book that actually takes us to joy. This is a book that says this issue in your life will have a beginning, it'll have a middle, and it'll have an end. And it turns out well if you choose for it to turn out well.